Svedic, and in my work life I have a software company and a startup. And in my private life I like to read stuff, and I have a blog and write about stuff I'm interested in. And one of the topics I'm interested in is co-living and co-housing, which is the topic for today, because I created a co-living community in Zagreb 2 years ago, which failed. And on the second link you have more information how it came to be, but today I'm going to be short. So first we need to define what's the difference between co-living and co-housing. Co-living is when some people with vision and shared interest rent a house and they live in their private rooms, but they use common space to organize some events, to have dinners, to have meetings, and they use shared economy there. Co-housing is the same thing but upgraded. Every person has a private house and they all share the large common house with the same idea. They have common dinners there, they have rooms for kids, they have rooms for guests, anything that is needed for the small community. I first experienced co-living when I was spending winter in San Francisco in Slovenian startup house. And first I was a little bit skeptical about it. I thought I was too old. But I came there and I really liked it because I met like-minded people who were also doing startups, and we were giving advices to each other. We had dinners on Sundays. I really loved the experience. And the next winter I also spent 2 months in Embassy, San Francisco, which is another co-living place. They even have a co-working space in the basement and few 3D printers. So I came back to Zagreb and I said I want to organize the same thing here. So I started searching for a house, and I found a beautiful house, 250 square meters, with a gym, sauna, a backyard with a barbecue, heated winter garden, just beautiful. And I fell in love and I rented the house for a year. I created a web page and a Facebook page, and I said, hey guys, I'm living here, apply for the house. And I can say from the start I did some things right. First of all, the house was great. It was large, it had enormous shared space, it was new house. The rooms itself were 22 square meters. Some rooms had private bathrooms, and some rooms had private balconies with a view of the city. Second thing I did is I arranged for a cleaning lady to come once a week, and she was cleaning both private and shared rooms. And in addition to that, she was doing ironing and cooking once a week. And below you have pictures of her making my pajama in a butterfly and one shared meal she made for us. So that was great. But some things you learn the hard way. And I learned the hard way that from the start you need to target the right people. So you need to choose either hippies, hipsters, or couples. And I was thinking that most of the people who want to live in a house are going to be young professionals, good salaries, have a car, have extra income to spare. But most of the people applying for a house, they had really tight budget, they didn't have a car, they only had a bicycle, and they were asking like, do you have a garden with vegetables? Are you all vegetarians? Do you do meditation in the living room every morning? They were kind of expecting something different. And one of the main reasons we didn't fill the house in 1 year is price versus location trade-off. So as they say in real estate, location, location, location. I wanted to have a large house, luxurious, and that's why I found the house in the suburb. But in the end, in the retrospect, it would be better if the house was closer to the city, because we had too much space. We didn't use it all, and people naturally grouped in the kitchen during the day and in the winter garden during the evening. And we didn't use a living room so much. And the lesson 3 is do the automatic rent collection. Because sometimes you get problems with late rents. And that is a problem because you need to pay for the house at exact date and somebody else pays you for a room 1 month late. And there are 2 ways to solve that. First one is to use software for automatic credit card charging, which is the system they used in Embassy San Francisco. And the second solution is to use direct debit or standing order with your bank, which is becoming a standard in Northern Europe. You cannot rent a place if you are not going to make standing order with a bank. So after 1 year, we decided to move because we were still not full. And I was a little bit, we were all sad about that because we really had a nice time. I started my startup there, and on weekends we had the barbecues, and the evenings we had a fun time in the winter garden. And the last picture is from extreme pancake party, where we were baking 3 pancakes at the same time. So it was definitely fun. I liked that experience. I was a little bit sad to leave the house. I left with Andrea and Vlatko to a smaller flat later, and at the end I can only say big thanks to everybody who was participating in the project, who was either living in the house or working from the house. So thank you all. That's it.
Questions? Anyone?
Yeah.
Did a lot of people come and go, or were you staying for, I don't know, half a year, a year?
So Jure came and he was there for, I think, 4 months. That was the interesting part because he came all the way from Slovenia. He wanted to live in a larger city, so he was traveling to Krško for work every day. And my brother was living for 6 months, and Mario, he was working for the whole year from the house. And Andrea and Vlatko, they came in, I think, March, and we still live together but another location. So yeah, it was kind of fluctuating, and the way large co-living projects solve that is that they have a waiting list, and when somebody leaves the house, somebody else from the waiting list is notified. You can come if you want to come. But interest in Zagreb was not large enough to have a waiting list, so yeah. Any more questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
You said that you were living in San Francisco in 2 houses. Were you living somewhere else besides San Francisco?
So in San Francisco, yes, I was living in 2 houses, but as I got interested into subject, I also went traveling around and visiting mostly co-housing places. So the second picture I have there, let me show it. So this is Embassy, San Francisco, and this is Berkeley Cohousing, which I visited for a day. And if you go on the Facebook page, which you can find either from Zagreb Coliving, you can see on the Facebook page of Zagreb Coliving, there are like 4 co-housing places I visited in Denmark, because I did a trip of all of them. And the largest one was, I think, 200 adults and 150 kids. It was crazy. Everybody had kids. And it was a designed neighborhood by some award-winning Danish architect. And everybody knew each other. The central park was a place for kids to play. And they had joint dinners, I think, 5 days in a week. And there was online booking system. Do you want to come to dinner, or you want to take the dinner back to your house, or you don't want to participate in the shared dinner at all? So I visited some places.
What kind of classes were there? Hippies, hipsters, couples?
So in San Francisco, there are either hippies or hipsters. So in the central city, it's mostly hipsters. They all have startups and projects, and they are changing the world. Actually, for Embassy San Francisco, that was the motto. Like, you needed to do something which is changing the world, otherwise they decline your membership. I don't know why they said that. Like in Oakland and Berkeley, they have more eco kind of village thing. And in around Copenhagen, it's all couples. So young people live in Copenhagen. When they get older, they want to have family. They want to move outside of the city. where it's cheaper to buy a house, but they want to live in a nice community in the neighborhood. And I think now there's more than 100 co-housing communities around Copenhagen.
Sounds really
Yeah.
interesting, right? Thanks.
Would you like to?
So do you think if you relaunch this now, it would be more of a success than it was?
I'm not sure because at the as end of the 1 year was approaching, we started looking for the houses which were closer to the city, closer to public transport and by bicycle. And unfortunately, when you go to the center, the houses get smaller and prices go up. So we found one house at the same price, and it also had 5 rooms. But it didn't have any garden, it didn't have a parking space in front of the house, it was on Trešnjevka, and 2 rooms were in the attic. And the price per room would be the same. And I was saying to myself, I cannot charge somebody 220 euros for a room in an attic. So I decided not to switch to that house. But you know, it's all about the place. If you get a nice place with a lot of rooms for a decent money, yes, people would want to live there. I could find it. Any more questions? Okay, thank you.